just not been winning games when Madison Bumgarner pitches on the road. The flip side, though, the Rockies don't hit lefties. So this is a tough handicap to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're 0-3 when Baumgartner's on the road, despite his 2.84 ERA. I mean, he's pitched pretty well, a 1.05 whip. But, I look at Colorado, and they're starting to get that home magic back. If you go back to last June, they're now 34-10 as a home favorite. This year, they started 0-2. They've gone 6-1 since. So 34 out of 44 wins as a home favorite. Rockies
small home favorites in that one. The Braves will take on the Dodgers tonight. And, look, we just say this every day, but this Atlanta bullpen stinks, and it's killing them. They're becoming a team that if you want to play them, you basically better go first five because they're really bad down the stretch in games. Now, last night, interestingly enough, they actually got back into the game after trailing big early, and the bullpen actually had a good night for them for a change, but that's the exception rather than the norm. And it really makes it difficult to bet Atlanta. And a good example tonight, you got Max Fried on the mound. He's pitched good ball so far, but he's not a guy who's going to go 9 innings. He's basically a couple of times through the order, maybe 6 innings. And that means you're going to be looking at 3 innings against the Dodger offense that's really capable. It makes it a really difficult take on the Atlanta side. And the Dodgers sending Ryu into the mound. And, well, he's been pretty good, to put it mildly, so far this year.
Yeah, you want to talk consistent? On the season, a 0.91 whip. On the road, a 0.91 whip. At home, a 0.90 whip. Dodgers now are 31-11 at home the last 42, including 13-4 this year. I will tell you something about Fried, a perfect example. I'm looking at the First Pitch newsletter I put out. Fried is 4-2 in his 6 starts, or the Braves are 4-2 in his 6 starts. If you want to bet him the first 5 innings, Fried is 5-0-1.
There you go.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if this is a really close game early on, and then we'll see what happens after that. The Mets and Padres, that was fun to watch last night. An intense duel between Jacob deGrom and Chris Paddock. Padres ended up winning it 4-0. Renfroe's home run was the big blow in that game, and then they added a couple after that. So a good win for San Diego. And tonight, Noah Syndergaard takes the mound for the Mets, coming off by far his best start of the year. And this was, you could argue, this was the best pitched game in the majors so far this season. Syndergaard was absolutely sensational last time out and won the game for his team by also hitting the ball out of the park on a home run. That was a great win for Syndergaard. Can he duplicate the effort tonight as he goes into San Diego and faces the Padres, who are, look, they're definitely at a disadvantage tonight with Cal Quantrill. It's just his second start, but I don't think Quantrill's close to Syndergaard at this point, so a big pitching edge for the Mets here. But I'm telling you what, just about everything else here kind of favors the Padres.
Again, looking at the first pitch, over the last 5 days, Mets batting 190, Padres batting 336 as a team. You have this San Diego team, you watch them last night. When they extended that lead from 1-0 to 2-0 to 4-0, there's a confidence building on that young team.
Yep.
I really like them. I'm going to be watching a lot more of them and backing them more than not. Mets again 2-10 their last 12 on the road.
And here's a game where you've got all kinds of conflicts involved. The Reds taking on the A's tonight. Tyler Mahle will be on the mound for Cincinnati, and he hasn't pitched that badly, but you still go back to last year, and in his last 11 starts, the Reds are 1-10. Not very good. The flip side of that is there's just some big negatives on Oakland. They're back home off a really bad road trip. And Oakland, historically, in their first game back home off a long road trip, not very good. Mike Fiers, who was so good last year, has really struggled this season. The fly balls that stayed in the park last year are not staying in the park this year. Now, maybe getting back home will help him, but Fiers isn't exactly a go-with guy right now. So this becomes a really tough analysis because I don't think there's much question the better pitcher in this matchup right now is Tyler Mahle.
Yeah,
but, I mean, how do you back a guy who never gets a win?
Yeah, you look at him, and in his 6 starts, like you said, they're 1-6, 0-5-1 in the first 5 innings, but yet, he has a 1.2 whip.
His
and
numbers are good.
All 5 games have gone under the total. I look at it, and a surprising stat for me, Oakland is 9-17 their last 26 games, but in those rare occurrences when they're a home favorite, they are 7-3 in that role.
Yeah, one thing I think you got to look at the A's is which hand the opposing pitcher throws with. and this was something that we looked at going into this season. Instead, this Oakland team looks like it's a lineup that's designed to crush lefties because it is a really heavy righty lineup. But against good right-handers, they could be in trouble. And that's kind of been the way it's broken down this year. If you look at the runs scored per 9 innings, Oakland can smash lefties, not producing much against right-handers.
Just on the season, Oakland 7-17 against righties, 8-4 against lefties.
Yeah, and that's not fluky. I think that's something that's going to continue. The A's are definitely the Pythagorean reverse team. They're a team that, if you look at their run differential last year, they never should have won as many games as they did, but they had a way of pulling out all the close games. It's kind of going in reverse this year. The A's really don't look like they're serious contenders at this point. They were the team that was supposed to issue the biggest challenge to the Houston Astros in the AL West. Doesn't look like it's going to be that the case.
Same as the Mariners last year, right?
Yeah,
Winning those close games, and now they're losing them.
We should mention, by the way, some good players returning to action tonight. The Nationals will get one of their walking wounded back as Rendon returns tonight to face the Brewers. And some excitement in Detroit tonight because Shohei Ohtani is back on the field, or at least DHing, for the Angels. This instantly does make them a more dangerous team. Their lineup now adds someone who can support Mike Trout. Ohtani, even if he's just going to be able to DH for the rest of the year, which is going to be the case, they're instantly a better offensive team with him in the field.
Well, and a lot of times just that player brings the confidence back to you. Someone that's been there and done that and helped them win games. It helps every young player around you.
Yeah, the Angels are interesting because I'm not making any kind of a case that they can catch the Astros. But that's not going to happen. And the AL West is going to turn into a runaway. But the Angels, there's some positives in their window. Ohtani returns tonight. Justin Upton will be back at some point. The pitcher who's on the mound tonight, Griffin Canning, I know he didn't last through the 5th inning in his first start, but he had 5 straight strikeouts early on and retired the first 10 batters and looks like he's a keeper. Canning's a guy who could ascend to the top of that rotation pretty quickly. I think the Angels have a chance to make some noise. I don't think they're a playoff team, but they're a team to keep an eye on in terms of maybe a squad that's going to get hot at some point.
And you look at what they've done recently. I mean, they went through a stretch where they lost 3 out of 4 to the Yankees, and then they lost a couple to the Astros. So they've lost to the quality of competition that are good teams, but they've beaten the bad teams.
One thing to keep in mind, however, the Angels have not been good against lefties. And they are facing a lefty tonight, which is kind of why this didn't make my card, because I do like Canning. The price shot up on the game. It opened much lower than it's at right now, which is more in the minus 140 area. They're going against Norris, who, look, he's a journeyman, kind of a mediocre guy, but he's a lefty, and the Angels are 2-9 against lefties this year. And if you look at the offensive numbers against southpaws, they're just not very good. I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon. This is still a lineup that just, for whatever reason, they're not very good against southpaws.
Does Ohtani change that?
Being a left-handed hitter, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I mean, but some left-handed hitters can hit lefties.
He's going to help, period. But I don't know if it helps their overall issues against southpaws. Yeah. Calhoun doesn't hit lefties. Goodwin, while he's been a revelation, he's going to hit righties better than lefties. I don't know. It's tough to say. And the Angels are by no means a great team. I still think, however, there's room for improvement with them going forward. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We are going to focus on the Blazers and Nuggets for tonight's WagerTalk marquee matchup.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
With Cliff Miller from MJ Christensen Diamonds, William Henry Collectibles.
Incredible. All one-of-a-kind pieces. They're generational items. And in the South, everybody just lusted after who gets the grandfather's pocket knife. In Vegas, it's stepped up a notch, and that's William Henry. But this is a knife that generations will own. Every one of them made out of custom materials, an incredible story and legacy to pass on to future generations.
MJ Christensen, located at Boca Park.
Hey, Dave Cokin with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. John, what type of injuries do you treat at LPT?
Dave, we treat a whole gamut of injuries, primarily orthopedic injuries, anything from neck pain, back pain, post-surgical rehabilitation. We also specialize in treating victims after any car accidents, or slip and fall type injuries.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
On Twitter, follow us at the LV Sportsline and at ESPN 1100.
What's hot today? It's time for the WagerTalk Marquee Matchup of the Night. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
Oh, that's going to be fun tonight. Game 5, the scene shifting back to Denver, Colorado. And the Nuggets playing host to the Blazers in what has been a thrilling series to date. It's now a best of 3 with the series tied at 2 games apiece. I would be afraid to lay the points, even though I think it kind of sets up well for Denver tonight, Ralph. I mean, it's just, these games have just been to the wire, and I can see that being the case again tonight.
Yeah, I would think so, too. I look at it, and you have Damian Lillard, who in the opener played well and played great last series, but since that opening game, he's only 24 of 63 and only 5 of 23 from three-point land. Now, McCollum's played great without him, I think averaging 30 points, picking up his pace, but to me, I mean, I think it's a correlation where if you like a player prop with Lillard over, you like Portland. If you like Denver, then you're not thinking Lillard's going to go off, and you could bet a Dillard prop under, get some value with that extra bet. And this total, I mean, it's been crazy. These totals up and down in this series where, we talked about 5 straight times it dropping in the other series. This total has bounced up and down, back and forth, 4 or 5 or 6 points between games. I
really want to see how Portland responds psychologically to losing a game I think they probably felt they were going to win. Coming out of that 4 overtime thriller in Game 3, you'd think, boy, we've got a real advantage here in Game 4. And they actually got off to a good start and led by at least a margin at the half. And Denver nailed them in the second half. I mean, that was an extraordinarily huge psychological win for the Nuggets in a very bad spot. And you wonder if now they have taken command mentally in this series.
And, the Blazers have only won 3 of 20 road games. Now, they did win at Denver Game 2. So, I mean, you're in a series and you can be there and done that. And the other thing is, someone asked me this, and I don't know. I don't know if altitude's an issue after 5 games. You've been playing in the same area, and that would mean Denver's better. I don't know that, but
that's a guess.
Yeah, to me, it's a fun series to watch.
Yeah, it really
and
is.
It's one that I have not been correct on, so I will just politely not make a selection and enjoy tonight's game.
Well, hopefully we'll be correct tonight with our stuff at WagerTalk because 2 things to tell you about. Number one, as it happens, the $2 handicapper is someone who's been running well. Well, I've been running well lately, so I'm the $2 handicapper tonight. And I've only got one play. I only made one bet today, and that's the bet that's up. It's $2 at WagerTalk.com. Meanwhile, Ralph Michaels has a 24-hour flash sale going on.
I do. I don't start the season doing baseball. I concentrate on basketball. But going back to last August, I've had 26 baseball plays. That's it. I'm 21-5.
That's pretty good.
Yesterday, had a 5% winner, have a 4% run line play today. So what I'm doing is now through the All-Star break, baseball and basketball, $2.99. You're getting 2 months for the price of one. But again, I don't have action every day. There are some days in there I may pass.
Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day time.
It's the LPT Play of the Day. Tonight's best bet from Lions Physical Therapy. Your 5-star rated specialists.
Boston Bruins were a winner for us last night on the LPT Play of the Day. I've only got the one play tonight, so I'm not going to use that. Ralph, I'm going to leave it up to you to select our Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day.
Dave, I'm going to go back to our 4-4 and talk about the system of the team getting shut out on the road and playing the under. Philadelphia has Nola. Cardinals have Hudson. The total is 9. I'm going to play that game under 9.
I thought you were going to go with that other angle that you talked about. Yeah.
Twins.
That's a big one.
16-0. Yeah, well, I don't like giving away a road favorite like that.
Yeah,
give our guys some value with a 50-50 totals play.
Okay. So I would have been wrong. Had I handicapped what you were going to use as the Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day, I'd have come up with a loser. Because I thought, this has got to be the Twins.
It's 153. It's fun to give out as an angle.
Now?
Yeah. Minnesota's now 153 over Sanchez.
That's a little bit on the steep side. Good show today. Lots of fun talking with Jeff Sherman from Superbook USA. Don't forget, tomorrow, it's our Caesars Entertainment Wednesday. We'll have the Junkyard Dog, or at the _Junkyard, if you will. Jeff Davis joining us. And Teddy Covers will be here tomorrow as well. For Ralph Michaels and Ari Platinum, I'm Dave Cokin. We thank you for listening. Don't forget